Peace to the family. Alafia Ni, Hotep, a BB Fahodie, a BB Toomey. I see new Black World Orders in the building. Peace to you, brother. Brother Ray is in the building. Brother Ifa Gambilla. I might have put your name, family, but don't, I'm from Baltimore, so excuse that lazy tongue. Peace to your family. Brother Lawrence Lilly, B1. That's right, Black First in the building. Peace to you, family. Queen Mother Althea, peace to you. The Queen Mother is in the building. Shantia Thompson, peace to you. Brother Roy, peace to you. C. Terry, peace to you, family. My peace to you. And beloved sister, readings by Callie, peace to you, family. So you already know. You said, daggone, Dr. Maat is going live at 9 o'clock at night. She always talks about her bedtime is at 9 or 8:30, 9 o'clock. But your sister have been having some late nights because I'm finished grading for the semester. I'm done grading for the semester. So I've been showing off a bit. I've been hanging past my bedtime. But anyway, family, you see the title tonight. We're going to be talking about, and Baba IMHOTEP is coming in shortly. But tonight we're going to be talking about the dead silence about the Buffalo Massacre from our so-called leading Blacks. And maybe I need to add so-called to the title, our so-called leading Blacks. And so let me tell you what prompted this discussion, family. Yesterday, our mayor, Brandon Scott, issued a statement about what happened in Texas. And so I know probably all of you've gotten the news. We got 51,000 people in the building, piece of the 51,000 people. But we know that the Texas shooting happened yesterday. It was a school. The mass shooter, he went in, shot up a teacher and some students. And Albert family, when this happened, when I heard about this, I was literally driving home from my after school program, and my aunt gave me a call. And she said, "Did you hear about what happened in Texas?" And I said, "Well, I saw something come across my screen, but I didn't quite know the details." And she said, yes. Somebody, shot, someone went and, and committed mass murder at a school. And she said at that particular time, the count was one teacher and 14 students. And so I've heard that the count has increased, family, since that time. And so you could tell me in the chat what the official count is. I didn't keep up with the story, but she did tell me at that time that it was one teacher, 14 students. And she said to me, "Well, the shooter is dead. They shot him down." I said, "Up." I said, "He must have been a person of color. Either he was, a Black person or he was a Hispanic person." And she said, "You're 100% right." She said, "I think, from the name, it seems to be it seems that he was a Hispanic." And I said, that's why they shot him dead, because you already know, family, that had it been, had the victimizer or the shooter had been a white person, we wouldn't know the person identity for a while. The name wouldn't have been released and all of that crap. And they would have taken him into custody peacefully, right? They wouldn't have shot the shooter dead, right? They would have taken him into custody. I'm sorry, family. That's that Baltimore lazy tongue. But custody fast, and they would have brought him in custody peacefully. And so we already know when they shoot the person dead, it's a person of color, it's a Black person, Hispanic person, is a person of color. So anyway, family, when this took place, Baba IMHOTEP called me last night. He said, "Do you recall our mayor, Brandon Scott, who is a young Black brother?" He said, "Do you recall him making a statement about the Buffalo Massacre?" And I said, "Well, not to my recollection, but I said, you know what I'll do? I'll call some elders and ask some elders who watch the news regularly." And family, you know how our parents, our baby boomers, they watch the daggone news religiously. My mother can tell you everything that the commentators talked about, right? So I spoke to her and I spoke to several other elders, and I found out that Brandon Scott did not make a statement about the Buffalo Massacre, but he did make a statement about the Texas shooting, and he slid the Buffalo Massacre. He slid the Buffalo Massacre in. Okay, so he didn't talk about it when it happened, when it transpired 2 weeks ago, family. but he did slide it in when he talked about and when he issued a statement for the Texas shooting. So you might say, well, Dr. Maat, what's the difference? Well, the difference was with the Buffalo shooting, I'm sorry, with the Buffalo massacre. I don't want to just call it a shooting. It was a massacre. It was a massacre. And with the Buffalo massacre, it was racially motivated. He stayed away from that. With the Texas shooting, they didn't put it out there that it was racially motivated. So he felt comfortable speaking on the Texas shooting versus the Buffalo massacre. And while I'm mentioning the Buffalo massacre, let me call out their names, family. I want to honor them. I'm telling you, since the shooting occurred, it's just really, it's been on my heart. It's been on my mind. When I think about it, I'm like, man, that could have been, my mother, shopping, um, shopping at the supermarket, right, for her church, which she does, a lot. Okay, and so let me share this with you. Let's look at them, family. These are the people, and let's say their names. Let's say their names, family. These were the victims of the Buffalo Massacre. Okay. And we need to say their names, and not only say their names, as Baba IMHOTEP stated the last time he came on the platform. Yeah, I don't like saying it's a show because we don't do shows here. When I think of a show, I think of something that's entertaining and funny. And this isn't a show. I call this like a war conference that we're having. So anyway, these are the victims of the Buffalo Massacre. And most of the victims were between the ages of 60 and about 85 years old. And peace to the 70,000 people who were in the building. Yeah, look at it. R2 said that sucker shot an 86-year-old. Devil family. Let's call it what it is. Let's call it what it is. He's a devil. Let's call it what it is. And so I agree with you 100% R2. An 86-year-old who was, I know one woman, she was out shopping. They said she just left her husband. Her husband has dementia and he was in a nursing home, but she went to the market to get herself something. Some of them were shopping for their churches. There was a 32-year-old sister, I believe, that was murdered, and she was shopping to get something to eat. But let's say their names, family. Say their names with me. So you had Roberta A. Drury, 32, of Buffalo. Margus D. Morrison, 52, I'm sorry, 52, of Buffalo. Andre McNeil, 53, of Auburn, New York. Aaron Salter, 55, of Lockport, New York. Geraldine Talley, 62, of Buffalo. Celestine Cheney, 65, of Buffalo. Hayward Patterson, 67, of Buffalo. Catherine Massey, 72, of Buffalo. Pearl Young, 77, of Buffalo. Ruth Whitfield, 86, of Buffalo. And family, I mean, this really hit home for me. I'm even reading these names, and a lot of them have these down south names, right? Pearl, you know, Geraldine. A lot of us we come from the South. My family, anyone who's been connected with me for the past few years, that my family comes out of Sumter County, South Carolina. And it was my grandmother who migrated during that great migration that took place between 1915 and 1970. A lot of our grandparents migrated out of the South and they went to the East. They went up north to the East, into Baltimore, Philly, New Jersey, New York. Then some of them went west. They went to Chicago, Northwest. They went into Chicago, and then some of them went all the way to Cali during that great migration. And so when I look at these ages and I look at the name, these are probably the parents and grandparents who, migrated during the great migration. So anyway, family, let's say their names, and let's do more than say their names, family. Let's do more than say their names. Let's make sure that we create safe spaces, liberated zones, freedom colonies, maroon communities for, to be safe spaces for our Black men, women, and children. Ashe, I want to say that one more time. Let's do more than say their names, family. Let's make sure that we are actively creating safe spaces, i.e., freedom colonies, i.e., liberated zones, i.e., maroon communities that people would dare step a foot in. That's what we need to get back to. And peace to brother Baba. IMHOTEP is in the building. Baba, I had to get it warmed up for you. Baba, we have 50,000 people in the building, Baba. Peace and Hotep to you. How are you doing tonight, Baba?
Peace, Hotep. A beautiful Hodia. I am well. As always, I'm honored and pleased to be joining the platform with you, my sister.
Likewise, Baba. I was just getting it warmed up for you, and you know how I get passionate about our people, and especially when anything happens to our people. And so, I did share with the family, Baba, that we had a conversation last night about Brandon Scott. You asked the question. You said, "Well, did he issue a statement?" Because he issued a statement regarding the Texas shooting, and he slid in the Buffalo Massacre. But when the Buffalo Massacre occurred 2 weeks ago, he was silent. But it wasn't just Mayor Brandon Scott who was silent. It was a lot of black mayors, black city councilmen, black senators, black celebrities, a lot of what I call our so-called leading blacks said nothing about the Buffalo Massacre. So I asked you, Baba, why do you think that is so? Why didn't the leading blacks say anything about the Buffalo Massacre, but said something about the Texas shooting?
That's a great question. So let's do it like this. The quick and easy answer, we will just conclude because they are cowards, they're fearful. We may say they're coons, they Negroes, all the terminologies we tend to come up with. But that doesn't really help us during times of war to just brush it off by saying that. So we got to really look at it more deeply. The reason they did not and will not goes back to what I've been talking about with race first. Because for one, they do not see themselves as being a part of a national body politic. A national body politic. They don't see themselves as being a part of that. So when something happens to the national body politic, there is no interest for them to speak out, to share any type of sympathy, empathy, to even lend a voice, because at the end of the day, they can still go to bed comfortably because they do not see themselves as being connected to the national body politic. And so let me break it down real quick. So a national body politic has what is known as a national psychology. And that national psychology deals with those 5 domains that I spoke about last week. So within that national psychology, you have national consciousness, national identity, national solidarity, national feeling, and national response. So response is the last. Response deals with mobilization or immobilization. The national response is the fight or flight. That's the national response. So the same way you and I will respond to an enemy, if that person attacked us, our psychology will send us to do, we're going to do what? We're going to fight, we're going to flight, or we're going to freeze. So that also exists at the national level. So our national response isn't there because the national psychology of us is fragmented, it's shattered. And so those individuals who have weaseled their way into positions of leadership, I would say that, are not connected at the national level. So when things happen to our people, they don't have no connections. However, when something happens to people that's not our people, they feel connected. You know why? Because the shooting that happened yesterday, to these black people, it represented something happening to America. They feel connected to America. That was an American incident that I am connected to. So I gotta speak out against that. But when it happened in Buffalo, New York, that's a black incident. I'm not connected to national blackness. So I can't speak to that. That's what we're dealing with.
So, Baba, do you think that there's okay? So I hear what you're saying when you say that there's a disconnect, right? And you're saying they're not operating with a national consciousness, a Black national consciousness. So when something happens to us, they're disconnected to it, but they are connected to the American consciousness. So it's like,
That's
oh,
right.
this is an attack on all of us. Do you also feel, Baba IMHOTEP, that that they fear uh backlash from the powers that be, the people that they answer to? So I can't show these people that I'm too Black. I can't, I don't want to speak on Black issues. Like, look, I don't even want to bring up Barack Obama. But anyway, do you also think, Baba, is that plus I don't want to speak on this issue because I don't want people to look at me as being, too Black? Do you think that also plays a role in it? Do you think there's some fear there?
I will say this. Like I said earlier, we could conclude that. So let's use this. Let's use this.
Oh, you did.
Analogy.
You did say that. You did say that earlier. You did.
Right? We can conclude that. But let's look at this analogy right here. Take a family, a biological family of 10 people, and that family is under attack. And you have one brother and one sister that's in that family, but they don't respond to the attacks. They don't speak out against the attacks. They don't bang with the rest of the other 8 to ward off the attacks. We can't just say that they're afraid. We must conclude that they're not with us.
That's a fact. That's a
so
fact.
That's what we got to do, right? We got to get real strict at breaking this down. We can say they have fear, but let's take it to another level. They're not with us.
That's right.
Because
that's right.
Once we start identifying them not being with us, then we can put them in the basket where they belong at. And so when true justice must be meted out, you know what I'm saying? We know who to mete it out to. Right?
That's right. That's right.
They have chosen. See, race first is a wartime measure. It's a call to duty and a call to action. Right? So when something happens to Black anywhere, it's something happening to Black everywhere.
Come on. Say that again, Baba. Hold up, Baba. My earphones. Baba, my earphones started messing up. You said race first is a call to Black. You got to repeat that again.
It's a wartime measure. Race first is a wartime measure. It's a call to action and a call to duty. That's what it is. So when I'm saying race first, I'm saying this is a call to action and a call to duty. We must fall in line. So if something happens to Black anywhere, it's something happening to Black everywhere. Right? There's no demarcation. There is no, I can't say that's in Buffalo, I'm in Baltimore. No, if it happened in Buffalo, it's happening to me. So you said earlier, you spoke about how passionate you get when you talk about your people. You're supposed to be passionate when you talk about your people. Who are not passionate when they talk about their people? What mother isn't passionate talking about her sons or her daughters? What father isn't passionate talking about his sons? What grandparents are not passionate talking about their grandchildren? So why shouldn't you be passionate talking about your beautiful people? If you have no passion, if you have no feeling, then you have no connection. And we're dealing with people who do not have a connection, and we must call them out on that because the time have come. The time have come. Now, some of us who understand what's going on and that are very clear, we're going to have to deal with those individuals, right? We just can't keep, having the conversation and just talking about who they are. We that's good, but we got to go beyond that. You know what I'm saying?
Baba, that was literally my next question for you. That was literally my next question. Yes.
They have to be challenged. They have to be called to task. Now, this is what I say. This is very small and it's very easy. Among many things that can be done, a lot of which we can't talk about on the air, but just the things that are very basic. Very basic. We need to have direct questions to those individuals. Like they may say things like, think about Donald Trump, right? I'm going to tell you one of the things Donald Trump did. If he didn't do anything, I'm going to tell you one thing he did. Donald Trump showed the world that you can be for whoever you choose to be for in political office. You don't have to concern yourself with the feelings of anybody else. So when Black politicians tell me or tell us I represent all of us. That's bull crap. That is bull crap, because you cannot represent all of us and you cannot represent me in the system if you're going to use the methodology of the system, because the system has been designed to work against me. So if you use the methodology of the system and saying you represent all of us, you're not representing us. You can't use that system to say you represent all of us. It doesn't work for us. It has not worked for us. So you can be in that position, but if you're going to be in that position, you got to have a black nationalist mentality, and you have to use the authority of that position to advance your people. Simple as that.
That's right. And peace.
Right? And there's no reason why we should be in the city 70% black people, and black people are suffering. All the money's still going into the inner harbor. All the money is still going into the areas where these colleges are at. And you know what I'm saying? But then you're watching your city fall apart. You got 35,000 vacant homes and you're not doing anything, and you're not even letting people come in and take these homes and fix these homes up. Or you talk about, well, I can't do that. But some of these homes, they've been vacant for 30 years. So clearly the damn person who owned the home ain't thinking about it. So why not pull together these black constructors that got these construction businesses and put them together and sit down and say, listen, we got 36,000 homes. Bring me a proposal. Show me something feasible and get these houses. It's simple as that. You got to do something radical in radical times.
Oh, Baba, say that one more time.
You got to do something radical
in radical times. Not so the praying, is that radical, Bob? I'm just curious. Do you think praying is radical?
Do I think praying is radical? I'll say this. This is what I would say. I like to answer questions with an analogy. Do I think that the enemy that's bent on destroying me, catch me in the alley and put a gun to my head? Do I think if I put my head down on the ground and pray, he's not going to pull that trigger? I believe he will.
Absolutely, he will.
I believe he will. Now, see, for those who may pray, because I don't want anyone to think we're stepping on them, right? So let's digress a little bit.
Okay.
Let's digress a little bit. See, we are both spirit and physical. We cannot neglect the physical. We must deal with the physical while we're in the physical. However, we must also strive to edify our spirit. Now, if we behave well while we are here, we know that things are going to happen to us when we transition back into the spiritual realm. However, while in the physical realm, we must deal with the physical as it is. We can't neglect the physical. We can't neglect eating. We can't neglect cleaning ourselves. And we can't neglect preserving our existence. We cannot be foolish enough to think that our existence doesn't matter. One of the most important times in history is the present. All, spiritual beings return to the physical, because the physical is where you get an opportunity to experience. We talk about the divine experiences reality through us in the physical. So we can't neglect it and say, you know what, I'm going to pray our way out this right here. You know what? That's not going to do it. We pray. Furthermore, prayer is good for our spirit. Prayer is not for the person with the gun in his hand. Prayer is for me. Sacrifice is for me. Sacrifice is not for the dude that's trying to take my head off.
Right.
Sacrifice, that's for me. When I give offerings, that's for me. That's for my spirit. That's for me to get better with myself. That's what that's for. It's not for the other individual. It's not for the devil. You know what I'm saying? My prayer can't reform the devil. The devil's nature is destruction. The only thing I can do, I pray, I give offerings, I give sacrifices. I do that, you know what I'm saying, to strengthen my spirit, to allow me not to be afraid when I come face to face with death. But I must not ever believe that I must put my head on the ground in the face of death and thinking that the man with the gun in his hand isn't going to pull the trigger. I must never think that way. I must never. I know firsthand. I was shot before. So I know firsthand, you know what I'm saying? I did everything. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They put them bullets in me. Bam, bam. You know what I'm saying? So, boom, boom. With the intent to take me out of here. So I understand it very well. So prayer is good, no doubt. It's for the edification of your own spirit. That's for your own spiritual growth and development. It's not for other individuals.
Baba, let me ask you a question. Do you feel that the Buffalo Massacre was an isolated incident or a systematic assault?
It was a systematic assault. It wasn't isolated. And we would err in our analysis if we concluded or if we allowed others to attempt to convince us that that was just some lone individual and it's isolated. No, it's systematic in the sense that it's a part of the larger assault that's taking place against African people in America. African people in the USA have always been under attack. Right. So when we have someone as organized as this young man demonstrated in terms of what he did, how he did it, in his ideals didn't develop in a vacuum. The same way your ideals and my ideals didn't develop in a vacuum. You know, everybody can search and trace their ideals, the development back to sources. We all have sources. We all have influences, right? So his ideas didn't develop in the vacuum at 18. Not at 18, heck no. No, his ideals were developed over time in conjunction and in relation to a larger group, white group, that think as he thinks, that encouraged his behavior. I'm going to tell you why. Because let's numbers mathematically. Let's say he do get life in prison, right? Let's say he get life in prison. Let's say he get the death penalty. Mathematically, they lose one. We lost how many? In that particular shooting, how many of our brothers and sisters was deceased?
10, Baba.
So 10 of them were deceased?
Yes.
So look at that. So do the numbers. Mathematically, they will lose one if he get the death penalty. We lost. So do the numbers, right? So let's say next month they send one more out to go take out 10 of us. So there's one are gone again, 10 of us, right? It's warfare. That's a tactic. That's a tactic of war. That's what that is. It's a tactic of war. It's like me saying, boy, check this out. All I need you to do is up in that building. It's 15 of them in that building. It's just one of you. Go in there and take 15 of them out. You know what I'm saying? That's our cause. It's war tactic. It's a strategy. And believe it or not, it's an excellent strategy. It's an excellent strategy. You know, we get caught up in saying stuff like, well, you know, they hit soft targets. They punks. They're not going to go where the men at, they know what I'm saying? They not thinking that way. See, we using black thought against white terrorism. We can't use black thought against white terrorism in that particular sense, right? They're not thinking like how we would think. You know, we warriors, we strong, right? So we don't want to go pick on the weak. We'll go out there and try to find somebody to meet our match. They're not thinking that way. Reduce our numbers. They're trying to reduce our numbers. So if they got to kill children, women, and elderly people to reduce the numbers, then that's what they're going to do.
But Bob, what I want to say is this, because you keep saying war. A lot of brothers and sisters don't think that we're at war. They're not looking at this as war, Bob, but they're looking at it as, oh, this is a hate crime. I know it's racism in America. This is a hate crime, like as you stated before, an isolated, incident. They don't look at a war. We've been really bamboozled by the illusion of inclusion. We don't look at it as it's us and them, and that there's a war going on. And I know that, oh my goodness, Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, I'm thinking of what she said. She said, if we don't see the war, we are in trouble. She said, if we don't see the war, we are in trouble. And so our ancestors told us, you're at war. It's a war. Even Baba Mwali Mubarudi always talks about war and being a warrior, the Safo and the Bamani. But a lot of our brothers and sisters, they probably think you and I are crazy right now, Baba IMHOTEP. They probably looking at this live stream and say, no, they talking about war. What war is Baba IMHOTEP talking about? Baba, so I want you to qualify that. Why are you using this word war? You're saying we're at war. What war are you talking about, Baba?
So let's look at it like this. So let's before I'm gonna answer that question, but then in Baltimore City we have Baba Ade. He says this a lot. He said we've been warred upon, and Mama Marima Ani also said we've been warred upon, right? Which I agree. I think that war, to say are at war, it really implies that we are actually engaged in the reciprocal process. So I don't think that we have engaged in the reciprocal process at the level necessary. So say that we are being warred upon, nonetheless, a war is being waged.
A war is being waged.
Yeah. So the war that is being waged is essentially a racial war. Now, we don't see this as a racial war because we're still trying to say the race don't exist. Like we want to push forth that, and we want to say, well, we want to use their science and say, well, according to science, race don't exist. We are the human race, so on and so forth, right? But if you really get into African thought, the way we define what it means to be human, Europeans could never qualify in that definition. Not in any one of our societies. What it meant to be human for us, Europeans could never qualify. So we're not going to argue we all of the same, whatever terminology we choose to use. Now, so I'm going to say that first. So that's why a lot of us get to holler we're not at war. It's a racial war. And the war is this. We are being warred upon not because we are African, not because we are black. That has nothing to do with why the war is being waged upon us. We are being warred upon because white people in white thought thinks differently about the world, right? And the way they conceive of the world, they must be in conflict with things in the world. Black people, African people, we stand as the greatest threat to the European nation.
Wait a minute, Baba. What do you mean we're a threat? Hold on.
We're the greatest threat.
Hold on, Baba. Let me ask you this. You said we're a threat, but someone may argue, well, how are we a threat? They have the power, they have the wealth, they have the resources. What are you talking about? We a threat? How are we a threat, Baba? We don't own and control anything. We don't own and control any resources, any wealth, any power. How are we a threat?
Think about it like this right here. You could take if a cow was smart enough and the cow would trick Mike Tyson. Even though Mike Tyson dominated the game, but the cow would trick Mike Tyson and chain Mike Tyson up, right? The cow would keep Mike Tyson trained up because the cow would know if Mike Tyson ever got loose, Mike Tyson poses a threat to the cow's existence. So everything must be done to prevent us from coming into our fullest potential because they know that if we come into our fullest potential, we possess the capacity to threaten their existence. By virtue of who we are on every single level. Think about what we have done based on how you just don't have resources.
Hold on.
Those things.
Hold on, Baba, you're breaking up. And I don't, family, tell me in the chat, is he bleary and breaking up or is it just me? Tell me in the chat. He was kind of breaking up and a little bleary. Let me know in the chat, family. I just don't want him to continue if he has to come out and come back in, family. Yes, they said, yeah. So okay. Brother Sean P, peace to Brother Sean P. He said, yes, he's blurry and breaking up. Baba, do you want to restart your computer or something and come back in?
How about now?
You're still choppy and blurry.
So I'm going to go out and come back in.
Okay. All right. And while he's coming back in, family, I'm going to look through some of these comments because you all have been talking black to me. Peace to Sister Tamika in the building. She's asking everyone to thumb up the video, like and share and subscribe to the channel, family. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so that whenever I go live, you are notified. Baba, you look good now. You're nice and clear on my end. Baba. So what I made out based on what you were saying is you gave the analogy of Mike Tyson and you talked about how, like, let's say you take a Mike Tyson and you've been training, he's been training, and you say you tie him up, right? And could you repeat that analogy again? Because like I said, It was kind of choppy, but.
All right. So the analogy was if a coward was intelligent enough to trick Mike Tyson and chain Mike Tyson up, right? In that instance, the coward would have everything and Mike Tyson wouldn't have anything. But he would keep Mike Tyson confined because the coward would know that if Mike Tyson ever got loose, he possesses the capacity to destroy the coward. So Mike Tyson's very existence poses a threat to that coward. So even though we don't have the resources, our existence poses a threat. because of our capabilities, because of our potential, our capacity to rise above, our capacity to be the greatest being standing on this earth. It's the capacity that we possess, that they are clearly aware. Think about all of the European anthropologists that spent many years in Africa studying us. They saw things in Africa that they couldn't fathom. They saw us do stuff. They saw things. They said that when the British said that when they heard the Zulu army approaching them, they said the ground trembled. They thought that elephants were coming towards them. It was the Zulu in total sync in the army. And this is not anything I'm making up. This is what the British said. The British, you know what I'm saying? They came and saw the army destroyed. They was trying to figure out how. How did these people who didn't have the type of weaponry that we had did this? So they know what we can do. They studied us. They spent time with the Dogon. You know what I'm saying? Marcel Griot spent 15 years with the Dogon. He know the telescopic vision. They know who we are. We don't know who we are. And since we don't know who we are, we have allowed ourselves to be defined by the standards that they have set up. They the ones who told us that you have 5 senses. And we keep on repeating that you got 5 senses. They're the ones who said you use 10% of your brain. And we repeat and say you use 10% of your brain. They're the ones that said that. They're the ones that said that telepathy doesn't exist. So we repeat and say telepathy doesn't exist. We repeat what they say because they know who we are. We don't know who we are. That's the problem.
No, that's a fact.
We are the most powerful beings on earth. Us. We are. And that's not boastful. That's not fanatical. That's none of that. That is how you want to break it down. If you want to say prove it linguistically, scientifically, historically, culturally, anthropologically, however you want to say you want to prove that we are in fact that.
Absolutely.
And the people in this world know it. Everyone know it except us. Everyone know it. We're the only ones that's trying to figure that thing out, man. And when we figure that out, if we ever figure it out in time, we'll get out this mess overnight.
Absolutely. Bob, I just want to take a pause out here. Family, right now, what I'm going to ask you to do, and don't log off because people think it's money. As soon as you say, hold up, I need something from you. People start logging. She's talking about money. She might be asking me for a cash app. You know, I don't ask you all for nothing. I produce and I come to the community and say, here's what I got. Here's what can support our babies, but I don't come and ask for a dime. All right. And so family, right now, I'm asking you, I'm dropping a link in the chat. Okay. I want you all to click on this link and I want you all to vote for the Kamoyo Shu Africana Academy, which is going to be a weekend school in Baltimore. Baba IMHOTEP is going up for a grant. It's a $25,000 grant. And all you need to do is vote. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate, because I think I voted today from one email address, but I didn't vote from another. So click on the link, family, with me right now, please. And don't just watch me. Click on the link with me, family. When you click on the link, I want you to scroll to where you see vote now. Click on vote now. Okay. Type in your email address. Okay. I'm doing it live on air, and I want you to do this with me. And once you type in your email address, hit the submit button. So it says right here, one more step for your vote to be counted. To help stop voting fraud, you will receive an email shortly with a link to verify your email address. Click on the link for your vote to count. So I'm going to close this out and I'm going to go here. And I don't have nothing to hide from you, family. I'll pull up my email address. Very transparent. All right. And you see right here, an email verified voting email just came to my account. And so it says validate your vote. Okay. So I literally typed in my email address, navigated to my email account, my Gmail email account, and or my Gmail account, navigated there, found the email, and I'm getting ready to click validate vote. Okay. And then it says, thank you. Your vote submission has been preliminarily accepted, your vote will appear once it has passed final validation. All right. And so all you have to do, family, is vote. You know what I mean? We're not asking for no money. All right. We're not asking for a cash app. I know. Or what's the thing they do, family? You can tell me in the chat. It's a super chat. People put some money in my super chat. And nobody's doing that. We're just asking you to vote. We want to get him in first place. He's already in second place. We want to get him in first place so that he can secure $25,000 grant here in Baltimore that will enable him to create and implement a weekend academy for the children in Baltimore. Bobby IMHOTEP, could you talk to us briefly about
Yes.
the weekend academy? Mm-hmm.
Yes, briefly. So currently, I put in the private chat. So currently, we at 1,800. It was 9, but then your vote came through, Doc. So we currently at 1,810 votes. I don't know how many. I can't see how many people are on tonight watching.
It's 117,000 people.
So if if it's just one vote, it's one vote. So this is what I'm trying to do more. We're going to develop. Well, we are going to develop. The $25,000 helps us out, but whether it comes through or not, it's going to happen. So we are developing a weekend school. Saturdays from 10 to 2, Saturdays from 9 to 2, and Sundays from 10 to 1. African centered through and through. What I believe will distinguish us from a lot of others, to my knowledge, is that part of what we're going to teach, what I'll be teaching, is African philosophy. And under African philosophy, we're going to deal with cosmology, cosmogamy, and we'll deal with, mythology. Because oftentimes we don't get into our mythology. And just for the folks who are wondering what I mean by mythology, see, mythology is one of the highest ways to express spiritual truths. There are spiritual truths that's operational within the universe, within nature, that we express through myth. And for us, the myth is nothing but a potent story that allows us to proofs better, because the words that we use, it muddles the truth. See, the words can't really capture the essence of truth. So our ancestors were genius by creating the mythology and the spiritual dramas. So we'll teach all of this in this particular school, in addition to the academics, the reading, writing, the math, the English. They're going to learn all of that. We're going to get them up to speed in those areas. We're going to deal with African proverbs. We're going to deal with the African way, which I define as being Njia yet too. We're going to teach the way. Our children are going to learn what it means to have African morality, African ethics. We're going to deal with our ethos, teach our children our mores. That's what this is all about. Because if you can teach people how to truly be themselves, then all other areas of life, they're going to perform well in those areas. The key to performing well is to feel good about who you are and to know who you are. When you truly understand who you are, then you can get out here and you can perform well. And all of our children at this particular week in school will be educated with a sovereign mentality. Because we don't link education to sovereignty, then what are we doing? If it's not linked to sovereignty, if it's not linked to the acquisition, the possession, the utilization, and the protection of power, then what good is education, right? So they're going to learn that with us. It's a whole lot more to go to it. If you're interested in learning more about the Kimoyo Shule Africana, you can inbox me directly. You can email me, and we can talk about it. But tonight, we're just asking for one vote. One vote. That's it. One vote for each person. It doesn't take 1 minute to do that.
Not at all. It took me it took less than a minute to do it. Baba, what do you feel about people? There was a comment earlier. It was a brother, I think it was R2. And now I'm looking at brother Kenneth Willis's comment. So brother R2 said, I'm not going to lie. He said, I feel, helpless. That's what he said. Helpless or hopeless. You got to tell me R2 in the chat. I believe it was hopeless or maybe helpless, or it could have been both. And then Kenneth Willis said, man, we're not ready, for war. You talking about war? We're not ready for war. Baba, what do you say about that? I mean, I have some thoughts on it. My mind went back to the Haitian Revolution, and people would have thought they weren't ready for war either, and they end up kicking the French and the British tail. But go ahead, Baba. What's your thoughts on that?
I will deal with the first question. The first about the hopelessness or helplessness. That's a part of design, my brother. They want us to feel like we have no options. we always have options. It's about information. It's about linking up. It's about connecting. And when you start connecting with the right people, you'll realize that we do have things in motion, and there are things to do. So my suggestion to you is dig into yourself. Find the extra push. Find that extra push somewhere. Because if our ancestors during the time of chattel enslavement believed that they were helpless and hopeless, you and I wouldn't be having this discussion tonight. We wouldn't be having this discussion if our ancestors believed that way. If Marcus Garvey believed that we was helpless and hopeless when he went all through the Caribbean and South America and he saw the black man, as he said it, at the bottom of the barrel, if he would have concluded, man, we helpless and we hopeless, we wouldn't have had no red, black, and green flag. We would have a whole lot of things, right? So there are many brothers and sisters who saw the destruction that's being heaped upon us, right? But they acknowledge that the destruction is necessary in the war that's being waged against us. Our task is not to overestimate our enemy, and our task is not to underestimate ourselves. The Vietnamese kicked the U.S. butt in Vietnam. If you want
yes,
to talk
they
about
did. Yes, my father was there.
They didn't have none of the gadgets that the USA had. All Ho Chi Minh had was the inspiration that he gleaned from Marcus Garvey. See, they don't talk about that. Ho Chi Minh inspiration was Garvey. And because of that, he kicked the Americans' butt. Right?
He sure did.
Now, let's break the war down. Let's not say we're not ready for it because it's already here. That's like me walking down the street and the person starts punching me in my face, and I turn around and say, damn, I ain't ready for this. I have no choice but to defend myself at that moment. To conclude that I'm not ready for something when it's already upon me, it's a miscalculation of what's happening. And that's what we're doing, right? We are miscalculating what's happening to us because we think war is one-dimensional. We think war is just military. And so when we don't see the military, we conclude that we're not ready. We think that's all we can do. No, that's just one aspect of the war that's being waged. Like the Americans. The Americans got all different departments that's working. You got the whole Pentagon. When they go to war, and you got the ones that's on the ground, and you got the ones that's down there in Langley, Virginia, that never get on the ground. But they are actively engaged in that war too. So everybody is not going to be on the ground. Everybody is not going to be running around with the hammers in their hand. And we can't think that way. We need thinkers. We need warriors. We need everybody doing their part from where you are at. If it's just going out in your neighborhood, rounding up the little young brothers and sitting them down, making them aware of what's happening, that's being a part of fighting this war. If it's linking up with brothers such as myself that's out here, that's being a part of fighting this war. If it's linking up with Dr. Maat, that's being a part of fighting this war. We fight this war on every single front. Every single front. We fight this war on the medical front, on the agricultural front, on the educational front, on the military front. We fighting this war. On the propaganda front, there's not a domain in American society that we must not war upon. We got to get in it rather than looking at them, because all they have done is created this illusion that they the big bad wolf. And we have bought into that illusion. And when you think about it, America get their butts kicked throughout the world. When you start looking at the history, yeah, they might drop a bomb on somebody every now and then, but at the end of the day, you see what I'm saying? They get their tails kicked throughout the world. And that's what we got to understand what's going on. They're not the big bad wolf. They're not invincible. They want us to believe that. They're not invincible. So I would never conclude that there's nothing that we can do. There's always something you can do as long as you have breath in you. As long as you have breath, there's something that you can do. The key is trying to tap into your spirit, find your passion, find your niche, and go to work in your lane.
Appreciate your vote, Brother Wingfield. Appreciate your vote, brother. And I appreciate how you've supported this program. I see your name pop up in the chat when I go live. So I appreciate your vote. Ket DC said done. Thank you so much, family. We appreciate your vote, family.
We didn't get 100, but we got 15 votes.
You got 15, 100 and almost 20 people watching this. 100, I always say 120,000. And you mean to tell me 15, it went up 15. Come on, family.
It went up 15 votes, yeah.
Come on, family. But we do appreciate the people who voted. Tamika, thank you so much. Tamika, sister Tamika, she's in the chat. She says, thumb up the video, like the video.
But we gotta, but Doc,
Insurance Entertainment.
we gotta do better than that though. See, like we gotta do better than, because that's simple as just voting. And oftentimes I know we don't want to come across like we too hard on our people. And I get that, and we shouldn't be too hard on our people. But we got to be honest too. We got to do better than that though. Cause we can find something to complain. I bet you every 100 person got something to complain about that's not right.
That's a fact.
We can do that. But
and I don't want them to think, Bob, but this is just for Baltimore. This is a weekend school that once it gets running in Baltimore, it will be available virtually to anybody, anywhere. All Black children, no matter where you are. If you're in America, if you're in the UK, if you're on a continent, wherever you are, it will be available. Because once we get it up and running, he'll be able to live stream. And so you'll be able to tap into it. So why not vote? I don't want them to think like, oh, I'm going to vote for them. They just doing this in Baltimore. It's a Baltimore thing. No, it's not a Baltimore thing, family. Go ahead, Baba.
And also to add to that, you know, the success of what we do here in Baltimore puts us in a position to export it to other cities. You know, it puts us in a position to do that, to link up with other people and bring it there to do it. But we got everything has an origin where it starts at.
That's right.
So if it starts in Baltimore, it starts in Baltimore. It's not going to stay in Baltimore.
That's right.
If we are serious about race first and Blackness, and we're asking for a vote, just a vote, you know what I'm saying? We should be willing to give that vote. And it's not like you can't go on there and it's not like they don't know who you are, Dr. Maat. It's not
Absolutely.
Like you can't research Bob IMHOTEP and know that we are authentic and I got a long line of work and say, you know what, man, that brother been working, man. I'm gonna support that, but I'm gonna give him one vote. Because we didn't ask for no money, we just asked for a single vote, 100 votes out of 100 people.
And that's like you said, that's simple. No money, just click the link, family. I just put the link in the chat again. Click the link, put in your email address, navigate to your email account, hit verify, and you're done, family. Peace to you, brother Kenneth Willis. We appreciate you, brother. The goddess, Yemaya, the goddess Yemaya. Peace to you, queen. She said, I voted. Peace to you. NY said, how do we do it again? So family, click on the link. I literally just put the link in the chat. Click the link. And when you click on the link, and let me go ahead and demonstrate again. When you click on the link, it's going to bring you to this screen. You're going to click vote now, right?
So I think
I can't do it anymore. Can I do it? No, I can't do it because I didn't vote it. Let me see if I refresh. Because I voted from one email address. So you're going to, okay. So you click on the link and then you hit vote now. And I think I did it from my other email address. Try it though. Let me try it, Baba. It may reject me. So you enter your email address. And that was 15 plus my vote, Baba, right? That's what you're telling me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when you enter your email address, you click the submit button and then you navigate to your email account and then you verify the email. And so I would have to log into my Yahoo. Yep, there it is. And so here it is. Email verification, your email, you click the verification, validate vote. You click the vote and it says, thank you. All right, family. So it's a really simple process. All right. Really simple process. Peace to Emotion Nation. He said he voted. Peace to Brother Winfield. He said he validated it. Brother Sean P said, I voted for the brother. Pure Black said, I voted for the OG. Peace to you, brother. Pure Black. All right. Brother Sean is talking about cultural anthropology in the chat. I'm trying to get to see who else. Definitely. Brother Moja said we all got a build. Brother Sean P said, get him some votes, family. Get him some votes. Sister Misty Trinell, she said, I voted. Peace to you, Queen. Thank you so much for voting. Appreciate you, Queen. Thank you so much for voting. Let me see who else. Let me scroll to the bottom. Brother Capo said he voted. Thank you, Brother Capo. Appreciate you. Capo. Thank you. Brother Ja, he said I voted. Thank you. Sister Kenya said, I voted B1. Peace to you, Queen. 100 Black said, I voted. Peace to you, brother. Thank you so much. Accepting who I am. Powerful name, brother. He said, peace. I just voted. Sherrod Williams said, peace. I just voted. My young warrior, Ryan, my young Asafo, he said, it took me last 5 minutes to vote, fam, but I did it. It's working. And yes, the link is in the chat. Brother CD said that he voted. Dijon Ford said voted. Black First said done. Brother Willie Lovelace, he said, I voted, but I feel like the only change that can come from the results is if the individuals are willing to step outside of the box. All right, Brother Ma said, I voted. Brother Najee Smith said voted. Brother Kenneth Willis said, waiting to receive my email. Sister Journey back home. I love this sister and her perspective. She said, I just voted. Thank you, Queen. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, brother. Me, sister. I'm sorry. Queen T is in the building. Queen T is in the building. She said, I just voted. Appreciate you, sister. My family, E5 said, I voted from Tampa, Florida. Peace to you. Sister TK said, tough love. We have to fix our own issues. All right. So peace, family. Okay. TK said she voted. Night Rider said, I voted. Miss Tiffany's telling y'all to thumb up the daggone video. Miss Tiffany said, thumb up the video. All right. I think that's it. They started talking about some other stuff. Misty, okay, I think I already have her. I talked about Misty voting. All right, so Baba, tell me what the count is, Baba. What are we up to, Baba? We get some more votes, Baba. Craig, look, Craig said I voted. Craig Hawkins said I voted. Queen T said voted and verified the other day as well.
41.
Beautiful, family. Black World said just voted, fam. Some folks said I will vote again tomorrow. Melissa said I got the assignment and just voted. Josh said, get that money, Baba. Get that money. Sister Shirley said she voted. Thank you, Sister Shirley. And Sister Tamika said I voted twice from both of my accounts. Thank you so much, family. I appreciate it, family. We're really trying to get this thing, get it popping in Baltimore. And like he said, once we get it popping in Baltimore, it will be available for everybody, to everybody, family. It's not just a Baltimore thing. I don't want you to think that it's just a Baltimore thing.
So let's talk briefly about education, because I read the comment about, the brother say you got to step out the system. So education is the principal means through which a people are socialized. So if we don't take control of our educational institutions and build our own, then yes, people will operate and think and function within the structure. The reason why we are trying to build this independent institution is so that our young people will be socialized in the ways that means the best for themselves and us, principally socialized for power, right? So education is political. It's political. When you think about the education that people receive in any institution, it prepares that people or person to function and operate at a high capacity within that society. And the reason why the person is trained to function and operate in a high capacity is to push the agenda of that society, to serve the best interests of that society. That's political at its core. So if our people are going to work in the interest of Black people, then they have to be educated with a Black pedagogy. It has to be a Black methodology. It has to be a Black education, an African-centered education. I like to say an authentic African-centered education. By authentic, what I mean is this. I mean that it's an education that fundamentally centers everything on Africa at its core, right? So if children know who they are and they understand where math originated from, they can master math.
Come on.
If children know who they are and they understand that reading is something that we've always done as a people, they can master reading, right? If children know who they are and they see examples, contemporaneous and historical examples of Black people doing their best in these academic arenas, then they can master these arenas as well, right? But they will master these arenas for us if we link education with a purpose. See, there's a purpose behind why you are educated. Even when you go to their institutions, it's a purpose why you are there. You are there to come out to serve that system. So when we take our own children and link them to a purpose while we are educating them in a Black education for Black sovereignty, we're going to see the best children come up, the best leaders come up. But only when we take control. And they will not think and function within the box. They will think outside. We don't even have to use the terminology, thinking outside the box, because African people, by nature, we are not a part of the box. We just don't know we're not a part of the box. So when you educate us to understand who we are, we're going to operate in our truest capacity, and we're going to operate at our highest essence. And this is what the Kimoya Shule Africana will achieve. I can guarantee you that. If you think, for those who don't know, what we can do educationally, all you got to do is go to my wife's page and you'll see my sons, the work that myself and my wife had done with my sons, and neither of my younger sons have ever been inside public education. And my 5-year-old can break the human brain down at 5. And my 9-year-old can get into computer science and computer engineering. Yes, among other things. My 9-year-old, Dr. Maat, my 9-year-old just put together a PowerPoint on the three of the great kingdoms in Africa. Ghana, Mali, and Senegal. He put it together in his own. He did the research, read the books, did the research, put his words together, and put the PowerPoint together.
Oh, Baba, I know. Right? I know.
So, I want people to know that we're not going to produce children that's going to think like this system. So your vote is going to go a long way. I can guarantee you that. It's going to go a long way with Bob IMHOTEP.
No, I bear witness. I bear witness to what you've produced from your family, and not just your family, Bob, in the community. Each time, and I call you when I hear you, Bobby, your name came up. Look, I meet brothers, and how did you become African Senate, brother? Who? Baba IMHOTEP changed my life. I mean, Baba, I can't tell you the number of people, young brothers, that I've come across, and they have accredited you with transforming their lives. I was out here, Doc, I was doing this, I was doing that. I came across Baba IMHOTEP. He just changed the way, I view myself, the way I view our people. And they get this hunger for knowledge. They get this love for self, this love for our people. So family, I bear witness to who Baba IMHOTEP is. So just like Knight Rider said, not even asking for money, just a vote. Come on, fam. We can do this. All right. And so, Baba, I just want to share with you and share with the family. So this is what's going on at Morgan. So I think it's important, and I'm getting ready to share some of my students' work. When you talk about teaching from an African-centered perspective, right? And so I teach STEM from an African-centered perspective, Bob. And the first thing I have my students do in my electric circuits class is when they come in, a week after they come into my class, they have to do a presentation on a trailblazer, okay? On a trailblazer in our community. So one group did a project. It says the historical trailblazer, Garrett Morgan. So they did, a project on him, and they have to get up and present it. Okay. Because it's important to me. See, typically with the electric circuits books, when you open up a lot of these engineering textbooks, they begin chapter 1, Baba, with the history of Europeans in that particular topic. So we'll sit there and say, well, STEM is universal, math is universal. Well, if it's universal, if I'm opening up a textbook, why is it starting me in chapter 1, giving me the history, laying out the history and the contributions of European STEM people? So what I do is I tell my students, we're not reading chapter 1. What I want you to do is go and research Blacks in STEM and give a presentation on Blacks in STEM. And so this is one presentation right here. I'm not going to go through it, family. I just want to show you so you can bear witness. So this is one presentation Another presentation is this brother right here who was responsible for making the pacemaker. Yep, Otis Boykin. And so I had a group. You can see my students. They did a presentation on him. You have, and let me go to the next one. Lloyd Hall. Okay. Lloyd Hall. Someone did a presentation on him to talk about what he created. All right. This is the first thing they do when they come to my class. We don't read chapter 1. Look at this. The Egyptian Sundial. This was a really good one, Baba, that I enjoyed listening to and sitting through. This is what my students are doing. Okay, this is the first thing they have to do when they come into Dr. Maat's class. All right. The last one is this one. The telescope. Oops. Sorry, family. Yep. George Robert Carruthers. The interstellar telescope. So when they come into my class, the first thing they have to do, Baba IMHOTEP, is to do a presentation on Black Africans in STEM. So it's very important, like you said, Baba, is that when we teach STEM, we got to let our babies know what our contributions are. We got to center it around our history and our culture so it can be a connection. I remember in a faculty meeting, they asked me, why do I think that the youth have disconnected from, the engineering? I said, well, it's the way you teach it. You're going in here talking about Ohm's law and Kirchhoff's laws, and that's fine and good, but they're probably sitting in class saying, well, they want to see themselves. What did my ancestors do? What did they contribute to this particular area or this particular field? And so I make sure that when you come into my class, then they wonder, they said, Doc, this is an engineering class and you want us to go through history? Yes, it's important. So Baba, I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't agree with you more. And there was a comment in the chat that I wanted to address before we blew out of here.
Someone wanted my IG, and it's just IMHOTEP 520.
Yeah, I put it up.
Yeah, put it in the chat. They wanted my IG.
Yeah, I put it up. And you already know, Bob, I'm going to chop this up. So this is Baba IMHOTEP's IG account, family. So if you want to stay connected with him. Did I spell it right, Baba? It's on the screen.
Yes.
Yeah. And brother Willie Lovelace, he said, I wish more people could hear the information coming from this platform, solid information. We appreciate you, brother. We appreciate you.
Let me plug this in real quick. Another thing that I think will be a little bit different from my perspective is that oftentimes I hear people talk about African-centered education as alternative education. So listen, and we got to be real clear. When we say alternative and we identify what it's an alternative to, the thing that it's an alternative to becomes the standard. So African-centered education isn't an alternative, right? African-centered education is just education that centers us. It's our center. It's a return to our way. It's not us. It's not us being an alternative to anything.
Right. It should be primary. It's primary.
That's right. It's primary for us. It's our center. And the next thing I like to plug in is that there is no discipline of learning that's devoid of history. Not a single discipline that's devoid of history. And when we don't help children understand that history runs through all disciplines, we grow up disliking history because history is taught wrong. Like, people think history is about remembering just the dates and the events, right? Although they have their relevancy, history is more than that. You know what I'm saying? History informs us of what have come, but at the same time, history is built into what have been done and how we do what we do, because the history is always produced now. Like, for instance, this show that's happening on May the 25th, 100 years from today, will be remembered, and they will say it's a part of history. But it's taking place now. So once you make people understand that history always originates in the present, so that makes the present history. It makes it very important.
No, absolutely. I mean, absolutely, Bob. I couldn't agree with you more. I was up here. Let me see. Changing this. I wanted to download it. download those presentations and put it in the respective folder when I was trying to show you all. But oh man, hold on, Baba. But I couldn't agree with you more, Baba. Blacks in STEM projects. There we go. I always try to family, I try to stay organized. I try to put everything in folders and all of that. But yes, Bob, I couldn't agree with you more. Peace to brother Sunline 55. Brother, you gotta vote, brother. Hold on. Let me give you the link. You just getting in here. Let me drop the link for you, brother. You just getting in here, brother Sunline. Peace to you, brother. And this the link is in the chat. Can somebody copy and paste it and throw it in there while I look for it again? I'm going right to our inbox, Baba IMHOTEP, and looking for, because I know you inboxed me the link. So I want to make sure. Here it is. If someone didn't put it in the chat, please put it in the chat. I want the newcomers to make sure that they vote. Here it is, family. Here it is. Brother Sunline, I need you to click on that link, brother. And when you click on the link, scroll down, hit vote now. Okay. Enter your email address, brother. He said for sure. Enter your email address, brother, and then hit submit. Navigate to your email account, verify the vote, and you're done. It's less than 30 seconds. Less than 30 seconds. All right, Baba. All right, we've been on for about an hour and 15 minutes. Baba, do you have any closing words for the listening audience?
Yes. My closing words will always be, it's race first, black man and black woman. Race first. And by race first, what I mean, because what I'm doing is a reintroduction and a reconceptualization. I'm literally talking about thought and behavior that places the social, political, economic interest, spiritual well-being, and overall material survival of the black race first to facilitate African sovereignty. It's simple as that. Thought and behavior, because we have to take our thinking and make it very actionable. And by being about our people. And part of being raised first is to understand what I've been talking about. So let's look at this national body politic. The national body politic is the organization of a group of people. And that organization of a group of people have a national psychology.
Absolutely.
Like I spoke about it earlier. That national psychology has those domains that I spoke about. National consciousness, black national consciousness, black national identity, black national solidarity, black national feeling, and black national response. Once we understand that and we allow ourselves to elevate and evolve to that degree, we will see significant change across the board. How we relate to one another, how we think about one another, how we show up for one another, how we defend and protect one another, right? Those things are only going to happen when the consciousness have been produced that can dictate that type of action, right? Action doesn't happen without consciousness. Consciousness compels action. Consciousness compels action. So if the consciousness is dim, is dull, then the action is going to be dim and dull. If the consciousness is missing, then the action is going to be missing. If the consciousness isn't there, then the action isn't going to show up. So it's the consciousness that's very important. And this is what we are attempting to raise through Race First.
Baba, you said it all. Baba, you said it all. Family, we'll be back live on Friday. Baba and I are going to work out a time, maybe 7 or 8. We'll be back live, family, on Friday. We have to get all of the votes in by midnight. And so we're going hard. We got Baba IMHOTEP coming on. I'm going to try to see, Baba, maybe if we could get some other folks to come on, like get this marathon thing going, maybe reach out if we can. I know it's kind of short notice to get Baba Baruti, but if you can maybe reach out to Baba and see if he's willing to come on and talk about this, and we just get some other people come on. I got a psychologist coming on, an African Center psychologist. She's going to come on, and we're going to be talking about the attraction of black cults, right? Why are people attracted to these black cults? Because a lot of black cults sprouting up, right? And so we're going to be talking about that. So that sister's going to talk about the psychological profile of black cult leaders and Black cult followers or Black cult members. So we're going to be breaking down that whole psychology, bring you on. And so we're going to go hard Friday night, family, just jam-packed information. We're trying to get the votes. We want to make sure that when midnight comes, that Baba Imhotep is in first place. So we're going to be streaming. Bob, I don't know if you want to do 8 to midnight, 9 to midnight, however you want to do it. We're going hard. You know, we going hard, Baba. We going hard. We're going to do a marathon. We're going to do a marathon. All right, family.
We went from 1810 to 1850. So
you said we went from 1810 to 1850. We were at 1810 when we first started, or
18, we was at 1809 when we started,
and now we're
1850.
Okay, so about 41.
Yes.
All right, and so hopefully when I post this video, once it posts to YouTube, I'll put the link there, and hopefully people will click on the link once it's uploaded to YouTube. And then, Bob, I'm gonna chop this video up, put clips on Instagram, and then encourage people to come watch the full video and vote. So hopefully, so people are asking what time Friday, and I'm thinking, Baba, do you want to do a 9 to 12?
I think
8 to 12.
I think 9 is a good time on Friday because everybody should be home they should be settled in, and we make it prime time. 9.
Let's do it. All right, so family, meet us back here on Friday at 9 p.m.
And bring someone with you.
Yeah, bring somebody with you, family. Share the link. Let's get the folks in here. We had about 120. I always say 120,000, but we had about 120 people in here tonight. And let's try to double that up for Friday, family, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's try to get 240 people in the building on Friday. And we're going to be bringing in some dynamic people to talk on Friday. So join us back here, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday from 9 p.m. to midnight. And so you already know I'm going to be fighting it because my bedtime is 8:30, but I'm hanging in there for my brother, Baba IMHOTEP. All right, so I'm going to be in the building, family. See you on Friday. Peace and Black. What you want to say about? Yeah. What you about to say about?
I just want to remind everyone that all of you who voted today, you can vote again tomorrow. So everyone who voted today, you can vote again tomorrow. Give it about 15 hours from now, and you should be able to vote again. If they say you can't, they might just want you to get as close as you could back to the time when you originally voted. But you can vote again tomorrow. So if you can keep the link, and encourage others to vote as well.
Beautiful. And I'm glad that you put that out there because I don't want people to think that you can only vote one time. You can vote every day. All right. So you can vote tomorrow. You can vote Friday live on air at 9 o'clock. And you know what I'm thinking about, Bob? I'm going to call up one of my buddies. He's a DJ, DJ 5-Star, and see if we could bring DJ 5-Star in here and get something. Yeah. I love DJ 5. That's my brother. That's my brother.
That's who did Mama Ife's birthday party.
That's my brother from another mother. That's my brother from another mother. That is. And so I'm going to see what his availability is. He's usually booked, but I'll see if he can slide in and help out with this for, at least for, 20, 30 minutes, maybe come do a set, bless us with a set. And if you could reach out to Baba or I can reach out to Baba, let's reach out to some of the elders and see if they could come on and say a few words on Friday. So Baba, hold tight. I'm going to end the live stream. I wanted to rap to you for 2 minutes. All right. Okay. Family, spread the word. Tonight we had 120 people in the building, 120,000 people in the building. Let's have 240,000 people in the building. Family, on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to go hard from 9 to 12. We're going to break out the elders. And some people I'm not even going to announce that I'm going to ask to come on the platform. And I'm going to talk to Baba because Baba has a lot of contacts. So I'm going to see who we can get on Friday to make this an event, okay, and to make it, informational, well, educational. There we go. Is it education? Not educational. Edutainment. We want to give you so we want to give you education and entertainment. So that's what I was looking for, family. Sorry if I butchered it. All right. And so I'll see you on Friday. Peace and Black power.